This is Sway.
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 In the morning.
In the morning.
In the morning. Shake hip hop.
Wake your fuck ass up. That crust out your eyes.
A lot of guys who were once underdogs are now the pillars in the hip hop world, like Eminem. And as such, does Double XL magazine do when they release their freshman class covers, the coveted freshman class cover that if you are nominated to be on this cover, that's like a form of acclamation saying that you're on your way up the ladder.
Right.
And that the people are recognizing the hard work that you put in and the talent that you possess. Whether you like them or not, these are the people who have been making the most noise in the past year. That's what it means.
Yeah.
This is why so many people argue about getting on it, and if they don't get on it, it's why so many people get upset.
They cry.
That's like a salute to them.
Right.
Who we have here in our studio today, Tracy G?
Well, we have the one who sits on the throne of the masthead, the head honcho, the editor-in-chief, Vanessa Satin of Double XL.
Yes.
And also the music editor, Eric, who, fun fact, used to be my intern back during my Vibe days.
Now
Look how full circle
he
life
blew up, man. He ain't getting no more coffee for you, Tracy.
No more.
Eric won't do that no more.
He getting bylines.
There it is, man. Congratulations, Eric.
Thank you.
And word of advice, man. It's a lot of what we call them Hollywood journalists out here. It's more important for them to look popular than it is for them to do work.
Yeah.
You be the one that do the work, it'll make you popular.
Thank you.
Okay, that's all I got for him, Heather B.
That's it. That's enough.
Vanessa, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Oh man, I'm all I see online is people reacting to this 2014 freshman class cover.
Good. That's the point.
That's the point, and I want to discuss some of the people and why you guys decided to put them on the cover. But first, what is your process on deciding who goes on the cover?
We start in about September, October of last year, and we talk to pretty much everybody who listens to hip hop. From the industry to friends to, anybody we come across. We have, what they would pick for freshmen or who they'd pick for freshmen. We also then have a lot of the guys come up, a lot of the different artists come up and they tell us what they're doing, tell us what they're working on. We go to live shows. We just do as much research as we can, and then we get into a room over and over again and argue it out.
And argue it out, man. Okay, so I want to talk about some of the artists. A lot of people have been calling in this morning. We told them you were coming by the show. Let's give out the list right now. 2014 freshman class, the Dirty Dozen, are Chance the Rapper, Rich Homie Quan, Isaiah Rashad, Ty Dolla $ign, Lil Durk, Kevin Gates, Troy Ave, Vic Mensa, Lil Bibby, John Connor, Jaron Benton, August Alsina. You have any questions for Vanessa or Eric? 888-742-3345. Two of Chicago's finest right here. Sway in the morning, Shade 4-5. We got Double XL's Eric, a music editor over there, and the head honcho right here. Vanessa is with us as well. We're talking about the 2014 freshman class cover. Sage the Gemini, Bay Area kid. I Am Sue, Bay Area kid. They're from where I'm from. They've had a lot of success. Was Sage considered, or was I Am Sue considered?
Sage and I Am Sue both came up in the conversation. We try to make freshmen where you can't have a major label debut by the time the freshman shoot happens. He'd already had an album that he put out in before the freshman shoot in March, so that kind of ruled him out. I Am Sue, we talked about a lot, but we kind of felt like I Am Sue is one of the guys to look out for the next year, and maybe he's one of the big dudes next year rather than one of the smaller dudes this year. So we kind of sometimes want to wait and see them kind of marinate, I guess. Yeah. Because we really like them, but we're not sure if we really want to have them take one place or wait until they could be bigger and have a bigger look.
When we do our
if that's how it works out, there's no promises anywhere.
Okay. When we do our hottest MCs list over at MTV, there's always about 5 guys that easily are interchangeable. Mm-hmm. Who are the 5 artists that could have made it, but you just only had so many positions that didn't?
Young Thug was somebody that did make it. Actually, we asked him to be a part, and he 10:30 the night before the shoot, he decided he wasn't coming. So that could have been one that would have been
Young
one of
Thug.
the freshmen.
Okay.
If he would have shown up and you would have had that one. I think, and what are some of the other names that we kicked around, overwhelmed with saying them? We're trying to remember who.
What about Problem?
We talked about Problem, definitely.
Yeah,
we talked about Problem up there. We talked about.
Problem didn't make it. Now that you say that, why not Problem?
We look at everything that everyone has going on at the moment, and much respect to Problem, but we weren't sure how he was set up to go to the next level like some of the other guys were. that came before him that we picked, and I don't mean came before him in the game. Came before him on our list.
Jaron Benton, he won. He was a people's champ.
Jaron Benton won people's champ. He got thousands of votes, and that's something that they can't
crazy.
fake. We can quantify it. We've got a system with it, and same as last year with Dizzy Wright, Funk Volume won people's champ twice in a row. Message to all rappers: see how Funk Volume does their social networking and everything, because they kill it. And so so many people voted for this dude. It shocked us.
I'm still hooked on Problem though, man. Yikes. Ooh.
Well, I mean, who else was there besides Problem? Fat Trell came up.
Fat
That
Trell,
was a
yeah.
name.
Fat Trail, yeah, that's the homie, Fat Trail. Okay, go ahead, Tracy. I'm sorry.
Well, thinking about this issue, this is probably the most anticipated one that you guys get. It's become like hip hop tradition. It's name dropped all the time. And because a lot of artists are vying to be a part of the cover, I wonder if anyone tries to do any like dirty business, like call up you with like a number, like.
No, I mean,
People try to pay to get on the cover?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You guys can agree or disagree. And I think that it's XXL's responsibility to make sure that freshman cover isn't tainted with anything involving money exchange, anything that's not on the up and up. So the whole staff picks that list. It has nothing to do with any payola. It has nothing to do with anything funny style. We get all sorts of offers of weird things.
Them. Okay.
We're the most popular people for a good few months up until yesterday. And so. There's nothing funny style with it.
What's the weirdest thing you've been offered? Without saying who offered.
Oh no,
it.
it's just if anything, we've been offered money. If anything, and I can't even remember. Not to even lie, I just can't even remember a value amount, because I think the people in the industry, for the most part, have figured out that that's what Freshman's built on. Yeah. And of course, there's different drops if you're not familiar. People making references. We even have one of the freshmen saying it in the cipher this year, who's not familiar and is an indie artist. But Freshman is completely picked by us, the advertisers, the brands. No one has any sort of influence. They just want to support.
I've gotten some crazy like $ numbers amounts.
Like 50K?
Like yo, I got 50K on the cover. Put me on. It's like,
wow.
Is that from? I haven't really gotten that too much. Is that from an artist that you would think would have a chance of getting it, or a more obscure artist?
Just a random phone call.
Random phone call.
I mean, Freshman gets crazy for us.
Do you make 50K in a year, dude? No, you ain't gotta answer that. Vanessa, her eyes will go, don't answer that.
I don't.
Now, we got GB from Los Angeles on the line. Good morning, GB.
Good morning, GB.
Hey, good morning. What's poppin'?
What's up, man? We got Vanessa from Double XL, also Eric from Double XL. These are the gatekeepers, man. What question you want to ask them about the freshman class cover?
Yes. Well, first off, let me say this. I like Double XL, the magazine. It's a respectable hip hop magazine, no question. But I always feel these polls and top freshmen, there's always somewhat inaccurate. I'm not a freshman of the fucking year. That is ridiculous.
But I mean, if you look at the cover, you can't say he's freshman of the year. You got to look at what the other guys have done and accomplished, and really put those levels together of the songs that they've had, of the successes that they've had. Not to say I Am Sue hasn't, but the reality is, of the year, you got to be serious. You got to look it up there and compare them, and put them in the landscape of things.
But Isaiah Rashad has no music out. It's just, I don't know how is he a freshman of the year. Because he has no music out. He
does have music out. He does have music out. He's got a music out. He's got songs. He's got a proven track record with as far as a label that supports him, and it's not that the XXL freshman class is necessarily wrong because you think it is. It's really our choices, and it can definitely be wrong down the road, but give them a chance to prove that, really. I think that's the biggest thing, is that this is the XXL staff's picks. It isn't a poll. It isn't something like that. And so now you got to see if these guys can really do something and come back next year and say, or whenever, and question it like that,
One of the guys I think you got it right with is Kevin Gates.
A lot of people love Gates.
Love Gates, yeah. He came up here. We had a real conversation with him, and
well, you always have a real conversation with Kevin Gates.
Yeah, right.
It's always an interesting real conversation with Gates.
Absolutely, and so let's play some of his music, and then we'll come back, take your questions. 888-742-3345. All right, 20 minutes into the hour. We're talking about the 2014 freshman class cover, courtesy of Double XL. We got Vanessa Satin. Eric, how you say your last name?
Deep.
Eric Deep, man. That dude gets deep, man. They're here. We're going over some of the Dirty Dozen, as they call them. Chance the Rapper, Rich Homie Quan, Isaiah Rashad, Ty Dolla $ign, Lil Bibby, Vic Mensa, Troy Ave, Jaron Benton, Kevin Gates, Lil Durk, John Connor. And this one is probably the most interesting to me because I think he's definitely destined for stardom as he's already achieving it. He's a friend of the show as well. He came on the show, got really emotional with us when we first met him. August Alsina, who adamantly expressed to me, dog, I'm not a rapper. I don't know why people call me a rapper. And yet he's on this Double XL 2014 freshman class cover. Why is that?
Well, just so you know, he adamantly expressed to me that he wasn't an R&B singer also. So I think he's not, he's in the middle, or, you know, that's a new thing with a lot of artists is they don't want to be labeled as something specifically. I think that for us, for R&B this year, which is the different element, is that, you know, the hip hop boundaries are expanding. The lines are blurred between what singing is, what rapping is, or who's doing it, or that kind of stuff. So, you know, we had to acknowledge what's going on in the culture as XXL, and, you know, guys like Ty Dolla $ign and August Alsina, who are singing, aren't really rapping, but are going to collaborate with all those guys on the cover because the readers and the fans don't differentiate the same way. So it was kind of time for us to expand a bit more. Plus, we really like Ty and August.
Okay. Plus, you really liked him. That's a great answer right there, Heather B.
It is.
Right?
Yeah.
We really like him too. Chris, you're in Chicago. Good morning. What's your question?
Morning.
Chicago.
What up, Chris? What's your question?
Hey, all right. I got a question, but, you know, the music, the magazine, it's for the fans. You know what I mean? And when you say freshman of the year, we're thinking these are the guys that we want to be on the lookout for. Some of these guys are more like sophomores and juniors. Kevin Gates has already put out 2 records. You know what I mean? And
Kevin Gates has a whole bunch of mixtapes. His major label debut from Atlantic Records has yet to come out. So that Good Kid, Mad City moment has not happened for him yet. Maybe his Section 80s have happened, but his Good Kid, Mad City moments haven't happened. That's the thing, that his major label debut, their moment, these guys haven't had that. And if you go through our XXL Twitter, there's a lot of guys who are saying, oh, I only know 5 of the guys on the cover. I only know 4 of the guys on the cover. I only recognize 6 of the faces. So I think it's the level of hip-hop fan you are as to how familiar you are with the guys on here. But there's plenty of the dudes that aren't known by everybody. And I think it's different levels. But you haven't seen that Isaiah Rashad rollout moment, that Kevin Gates rollout moment where they get supported. Strong music, but not the moment.
What about Troy Ave?
What about Troy Ave? New York. Troy's a character. NYC.
Let's speak on Troy Ave. Let's speak on him.
I don't know. Troy has gone really hard to become a freshman. He was disappointed he didn't make it last year. So he really went hard this year as far as keeping in touch with us to let us know everything he was doing and made big moves. And we were concerned in the beginning over, should Troy get it just because he's New York and you have to have a New York artist, like you're going to fill a quota. You know, but at the same time, the movement that Troy is building for New York was significant enough to acknowledge.
Is he the only New York artist on it?
Yeah.
I believe so.
And then Chicago got about, let me see, 4, right?
Yeah.
Okay. August is New Orleans.
But you can't deny that Chicago's not having a moment right now.
That's true.
You know what I mean? So I think that's, you know, we'd like to see New York have a bigger moment or a lot more going on in New York. But I still think it's bubbling up with guys like Bodega Bams, you know?
Okay. Zorro is in Houston.
Zorro.
Good morning.
Morning, everybody.
Morning.
Man, my question is, every year y'all put Killer Corleone on the ballot, but he never make it, and he got a proven track record. He done had hit records with every mainstream artist it is.
Well, then you guys have to vote for him and get that voting up for 10th spot, and we can definitely keep him in mind for next year.
He's out of Texas, right?
I'm thinking so, because Zorro's from Texas.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So
I mean, the impact hasn't been as much as some of the artists. I feel you definitely as being an artist in your town or your state, but it hasn't been felt as much here for us to feel like freshmen yet.
All right. All right. Kirby, you in Florida? Go ahead.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Good morning.
What's up, Kirby?
Hey, I was just wondering like De Niro Ferrar, I mean, he's blowing up. He's getting huge recently. And I was wondering, how close was he to getting that cover? I mean, like, his lyrics speak to me like Tupac's lyrics speak to me, to be honest with you. Like, how close was he to getting that?
You're definitely right on the money. De Niro was somebody that came up, Eric.
We put him through Show and Prove, but I think his name wasn't thrown around as much as everybody else.
A little early for us. I think he fits in some of the area with I Am Sue, you know, even with like a Vinny Chase. Those are guys that came up that we just felt it was just a little early for. And I'm sure people have arguments that it could be a little early for some of the other guys. But with weighing our options and weighing how we felt in the meetings, those are the ones we thought had the bigger chance over the next year or two.
Were there any female MCs that was considered in this?
Of course, we talk about Rhapsody, we talked about Snow the Product. The female MC thing is the same thing as, filling the quota. We want to do freshmen pick everyone based on who we believe in at the moment, not put you in because you're a female rapper, not put you in because you're a white rapper, not say, hey, you got in by default that we had to have the gender in or had to have a certain person in. And that can get its controversy in itself, but I know personally as a woman, I don't want to get in just as a woman. I want to get in because I'm good and I'm a badass, and they felt about me that way for whatever it is. And so definitely, those two in particular came up in the conversations, but we didn't pick them finally, and we stand by not, trying to say, okay, we're going to put this one and put this one and put this one to make the Bay people happy and make the so-and-so people happy, because then you don't have the class you believe in, you have the class that becomes a little bit more politically correct.
Who did was Double XL did you guys do the best female MCs of all time list? Was that you guys?
We've done. Yeah, we've done.
Y'all did that?
Yeah.
And y'all didn't put Heather B in that one?
Yeah, Eric, you and Dan want to take that one?
Take that one. Well, why not? I didn't understand that.
Eric's sitting too close to me. He might get yapped. I got a mean left and right. So talk to me, Eric. Vanessa too far, but I got a long stretch for you too.
I got in them a little bit about the list and stuff, but
Why? Was you not familiar?
Yeah, I mean, I guess we're just younger writers and didn't do our due research as we should have.
I think sometimes that's the problem, and that's something we discussed, and something that's not fair sometimes. Definitely, is with younger generation, and you can't look at every piece of content that goes online, but with younger generation, making sure that they're going as far back into the history, and I don't mean way far back, but checking everything along the way.
And you younger generation, ain't no excuse to me.
Yeah.
Like I'm
Because
younger.
Shantae, and I don't even want to deal on a personal note, because all of these women I've either worked with and run into, and we speak a lot, so it's not a personal thing about them. But when you say you don't want to go too far back,
I don't want to go too far.
Not you, no, and not particularly you, but just in general, because as Sway said, it's a generational thing. Sometimes you can't have a Roxanne Shante on a list and don't say you don't want to go too far back, because you went back, and I think it's more of a matter of you have to do your homework and just start understanding
100%.
what it is. Because when you start talking about MCs and you don't take into consideration who wrote their shit, you got a problem.
Right.
That's just a real problem with me in terms of MCs. So I didn't even know about it until I just started getting hit on Twitter, and everybody know I'm shady as hell on Twitter. But I had to start responding to people. I'm like, what list? So it was just like, wow, like that's crazy, because as an MC, I just take my shit so serious when writing. I bust my ass to write, to own my publishing and do my thing. And when that's not taken into consideration, it's a huge slap in the face.
Hey, man, you know what? This is a simple solution, Eric, man. I just think you got to do something on some of those MCs that you missed, like Heather B, man. Give her an article or something, man.
Yeah.
She wrote her lyrics. A lot of those girls weren't writing their own lyrics. And then when we put this out there, it changes the history. So we gotta be careful what we put out there in the universe, especially if it's not correct, because it changes the history.
Can I ask Heather a question? I'd just be curious, as a woman rapper that's been around in the game for a minute, how do you feel personally how women in hip hop have been respected after they're at their height? You know what I mean? Do you think that we embrace, not just XXL, hip hop in general, embrace you guys enough like we do with some of the men rappers, or do you think that you get that respect? I'd just be curious.
I think certain women get respected for different things. Latifah, she's talented, and she decided with her management team and other people to take her talents and do other things.
Right.
And some of them have. A lot of women, Latifah and I have this. We don't have children. So it's easier for us.
It's a different dynamic,
to pick up and go. You know what? I want to do radio. I want to do film. I want to do television. A lot of women out here who are extremely talented have families. They have children. They're mothers. And I don't think people take that into consideration.
That's an interesting dynamic.
You fell off. I didn't fall off. I'm feeding my fucking kids.
Yeah.
That's a huge responsibility. Whereas men can go out, and do other things and do other opportunities. And I don't think a lot of people take that into consideration when it comes to female females. They're taking care of their families.
No,
a
that's
lot
a
of
huge
them.
factor.
Yeah.
We were talking the other day, and it was men rappers, but how, you know, certain rappers get to a certain age and they become family dudes.
Yeah.
Right.
And so they're still doing their grind, but you kind of look at them like they're worried about their kid getting to college.
Yeah.
And they've got, and they, you know, the ones that we were really into at some point, we still are. We forget that the Method Man and Juvenile are family dudes.
Are family dudes.
You know, but out of messed up on our end is to acknowledge the women in the same way.
And that's why I've been blessed in a sense, because I don't have the opportunities. I'm able to take advantage of them because I'm a butterfly. I could just float
Right.
and go and do what I need to do.
And you sting like
Much
a bee.
respect.
Yeah.
All right, yo, Eric, thank you for coming up.
Yes.
Yo, you guys exchange information?
Yeah.
All right.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Vanessa, you always do
Thank
great work. Thank you
Yes.
for your contribution to
And
this
much
culture.
respect to Sway for all your contributions.
Thank you
doubt,
very
Sway.
much.
Years beyond mine.
Oh, thank you very much. And years to go. Double XL, man. Y'all pick this up, man. 2014 freshman class, The Dirty Dozen. Go online, read up on it. Let them know your comments, your feedback on it. Know that Double XL is always supporting and representing hip-hop culture to the fullest.
It's Sway in the morning, only on Shea 45.